What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Me and My House podcast. Just want to go ahead and let you guys know Wendy's not going to be on with us today. She is actually sick at the moment with bronchitis, and so I know, she's going through a lot right now. I just ask that you guys lift her up in prayer in this moment. Hopefully she's still not battling it by the time this comes out. So, thoughts and prayers are with you, Wendy, even if you're not battling bronchitis still. Keep praying for her. So, with that being said, our guest today, we're having another interview, and it's with one of James's closest friends. He's known him ever since he was yay high, and I don't know else how to introduce this guy. This guy is a character. I love this dude to death, man. I call him Cleveland all the time. He can't stand that. But everybody, please welcome Mr. Ben Parks.
Hey. What up, Shay? Or Matt the Jedi, Matt Skizzle.
You name dropping.
Name dropping.
I hate you. What's up, Ben? How
What's
you been,
up,
man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be in your house, man. You finally got set up. It looks amazing, man. Like we spent all day here. It's really cool. I'm really proud of the setup you got here.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
It's dope. How you feel?
In my humble abode, man. I feel pretty good about it, dude. This is another stepping stone, dude.
I hear you, man. Yo.
Hey, I've been listening to your podcast, man. It's been pretty fire.
Has it been fire?
Yeah, you got to get with James on his podcast now. Motherfucker was breathing like an old man. The whole time, man. Every time there was a pause, waiting for him to pull out the inhaler.
Oh, whoa, yo, why is you on this man's head like this?
Dude, I mean, damn, that motherfucker need to get some exercise or something.
For those of you who don't know, James is here in the background. He's playing Madden once again. It seems like it's the game for the fellas. And, he's just taking all this heat right now from Ben. Like, Ben's just laying it on him pretty thick, as you can tell. So, this is he said he's going to get his ass whooped over here. I don't know if you heard him. It's a normal thing that we do with each other. So, we, you got to do it, man.
Yeah,
so
you got to talk a little shit every now and then.
If you don't do it, you don't really love each other, man. That's what it is.
For real.
So, Mr. Ben, please tell us a little bit about yourselves. Like, matter of fact, go ahead and start from, like, how you even know James into, like, knowing Wendy and then myself. Go ahead and start there, my man.
All right, well, I guess James and my dad know each other from way back. They started working together at James Tool. Shout out to that shithole. And so me and James, we just hit it off when we met, and then I met Wendy just going to his house and hanging out, and then your black ass came along later on, and you were cool as hell. So I don't know, man, it all worked out,
my man. And I remember vaguely, especially like at one of James's birthday parties when we was at the church. We were in Christ Like Swag Team, and we were like performing for James, and like James was like this big old fanboy. He loved all of our music, which was trash back then.
I know, he would run it up on repeat, man.
And I remember seeing you and Hayden, these like little kids just running around. I'm like, yo, James, like his friends is like, they in here, like, okay, I like it. And just I remember over a period of time, like seeing you come around and stuff like that, and you moved away for a little bit, and then you came back home.
Right.
And you coming back home, like, man, I've gotten to know you so much. Like,
yeah, I know, it's been
definitely
great.
Part of the family. So,
yeah.
Like, what was I have to ask, like, what was it like? Like, where did you go? What was it like while you were gone?
Oh yeah, so I moved to Georgia after I guess I was 17. I just got in a fight with my dad, and I was just like, fuck it, dude. I was smoking weed, and I was like, I'm just gonna do my rebellious thing. So I hit my mom up in Georgia, and I moved out there, dude. And I would say it was a mistake, but things happen for a reason. Mm-hmm. And what I learned out there, I'll never forget. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to turn back to that kind of life,
Yeah, I think it's definitely turned you into the man that you are right now.
Oh yeah.
I think you could agree with me when I say you've learned to appreciate a whole lot more, all the shit that you got right now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so I think for you having having you in James's life, I think it's really beneficial because y'all will do your stupid shit and whatever might be, but you guys seem to be a good anchor and grounding each other and bringing each other back to a sense of reality when it's needed.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just everybody does dumb shit, but you just need someone there to be like, well, that's a little too far, buddy. Like, take a step back. You know what I'm saying? Joe ain't worth it. You know?
So, I would say like you were probably like the most level-headed out of everybody else. Like you will definitely analyze things maybe once or twice, maybe 5 times before.
Dude,
like
people say that, but I feel like I'm the crazy one in the group, dude. I don't know, dude. I just. Like everybody tells me that. They're like, you're the stable-headed one. I'm like, dude, you should get inside my head and see what I'm thinking. I think about half nuts, dude.
So you don't think you balance everything out?
I mean, I don't know. I guess I have to believe it because everybody says it. But I mean, I think I make good decisions now. I think just sometimes my crazy side pops out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I think everybody's got that crazy side in them. I don't see it much out of you, just like only like when you start talking and you get on a roll, like when you're roasting people, then I'm like, yo, this dude like wow. Like
I know, dude. I'll go on like phases for like a week. I'm just roasting everybody, dude, and then like I'll go through phases where I'm just kind of like chilled out. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, what about the raccoons though?
Dude, don't even get me started. We were camping one day, man, with Larry and James, right? We're at the campsite, and there may or not have been a few beverages involved. But all right, I'm just gonna drop it. I was drunk as hell, dude. I went, my drunk ass was going to sleep, man. And they were talking about there was bags of chips everywhere. I was like, man, roll up them bag of chips, and they're like, I'd be fine. That motherfucker won't be fine. The raccoons will come out. And these motherfuckers look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you're not scared of bears, you're scared of raccoons. Bitch, I ain't scared of no bear, dude. I'm scared of fighting a raccoon at 3 in the morning. Motherfucker ripping my face off and wearing it as a mask, dude.
So you really like have a disdain for raccoons.
When I was in North Georgia, I used to go to this one girl's house, and her mom, she had big holes in the floorboard of her house.
Yeah.
And they had like possums and raccoons and shit crawling. I didn't know this, man. I got out of her room and I went to take a piss in the bathroom. I walked back out. She had like the cat food was sitting in a bowl on the table in the hallway.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a cat walked by, so I reached out to pet it. And motherfucker turned around and said, man, motherfucker, raccoon sitting on there, dude. Nah, bro, I about wigged it. You know, I never, dude, I left the floor, bro. I swear her bedroom was 10 feet away. I didn't touch the hallway floor, dog.
Yo.
I landed in her bed, dude. I walked on air, bro. Talking about a motherfucking raccoon ain't dangerous. Fuck you.
The people don't know, do they?
They don't know, man.
Oh my God. Okay. So we've been talking a lot here lately, and given the recent events that's been going on in this country with George Floyd and everything like that, and me and you have had some really good conversations surrounding that. Because you have said on numerous occasions, feeling like this was the perfect opportunity where the entire country, let alone the entire world, finally agreed on one single thing.
Yes.
And we messed it up by not being able to come together.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
tell me a little bit about that.
Well, like everybody that I talked to and everything I've seen agreed that what happened to George Floyd was messed up.
Right.
And then what immediately after that, with that being said, everybody agreed on it. So I feel like we really could have united together and actually did something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't think everybody points out and is like, oh, this group is racist, this group is racist. I think that people portray us to be racist, and then after we hear it so much, we actually believe it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like most people are racist.
Right.
I just feel like one person will do something wrong and make a whole group of people look racist. You know?
Now, do you think it's like people just misunderstanding each other?
Yes. I feel like it started with misunderstanding, and now like we actually hold grudges.
Woo,
Because
say that again though.
And I just think people wasted this opportunity, not just on one side, man. The people rioting and stuff, they were wrong, and then the people who started like really calling them out, and just it's all the far left and the far right, man. Why do politics even need to be involved in a situation like that?
That's a really good question, and I like honestly, that was something that struck me about the whole situation. Is like, how does this happening to a man, who we all get it, it was a counterfeit bill, but he did not deserve to die. Now, how does that tragedy wind up sitting in our president's lap?
I know. Why does it have everything gets political, man? This virus, why does leaning one way or the other make you feel a certain type of way? Ooh. Come up with your own opinions, man. People are sheep, bro. You put one thing on the news and then everybody just follows it, man. If you're on the left and you watch CNN or whatever, and then you're like, oh man, this group is wrong. And then if you're on the right and you watch Fox News and you're like, oh, this group is wrong. Why, man? Why allow news stations to be pointed one or the other? You know what I mean? They should have a news station that is not biased. That's the only way you get real news.
And you know, the sad thing about that is that as practical and as logical as that sounds, we all know that will never happen.
No, it won't.
You know that there's always going to be a news station out there that's going to want to control a narrative. Yep. And swing it however they see the people rising into that. Oh, yeah. I feel like I was completely with the protesting. I think the protesting was necessary and it was needed. But the moment that we start destroying our homes and we start destroying our communities
and businesses,
I know a lot of black people gonna get like, are you even black, nigga? But like at the end of the day, let's be real though. Like, let's be real. I understand that we have been angry and we have been quiet and peaceful for too long. But me as a black man, I can sit here and say we did not do it the right way.
Right. And I can't speak for like anything on their side. I'm just saying that I feel like this whole situation on both sides could have been dealt in a way that actually brought forth change. And what is happening now is just gonna bring resentment towards each group. And you know what I'm saying? And now you're gonna see racism that our generation has never seen.
Right.
And that our kids, like when I have kids and your daughter and James's son, they're going to have to deal with intense racism unless we change something now.
Absolutely.
Because both groups are just going to be at each other's necks, man. It's going to get bad before it gets better unless we change something now.
Oh, and see, that was something that I had thought about, because I was like, you know, I felt like the rioting wasn't the right way to go about it, but then other people are like, well, you know, you seen what Dr. King did and they shot him too. But my rebuttal to that statement is, yeah, they did shoot him,
right?
But let's be real, if you look at every time we have rioted and fought for change in that manner, how long was it until we seen another nigga dead in the street? The last time we rioted was 4 years ago. And a lot of people don't realize that, but that was the case. And when you look at how people in the civil rights movement, even white people who are marching with Dr. King, yes, they marched, they boycotted, they protested peacefully for years, but it also brought on years of change. And something that I had learned was it's almost like, you know, grilling chicken. You know, bone-in chicken. You can do it super, super fast, right?
Right.
But it's not going to be done because you got impatient. You wanted your chicken right when you wanted it.
Right.
But if you let it take some time, you let the seasoning cook into it, and you actually give it time to be ready, when it's ready, you can enjoy it all the way down to the bone until it's time to cook another chicken.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And look at different people's methods of bringing about change and see if the change was negative or positive. Like, and I'm not comparing by any means what's happening now to like what Hitler did back in the day, but just look, the way that Hitler did stuff was completely wrong, and he did it by force. He everything he did was illegal. You know what I'm saying? It was completely by force, kind of like what's happening now with the riots and stuff, trying to force it. And then look at like people like Martin Luther, like he did everything right. You know what I'm saying? He actually brought change, you know, and it was positive. But Hitler brought change, but it was in a negative light. You know what I'm saying? Same with Gandhi.
Yeah.
When someone talks about Gandhi, it's only positive because he did shit peacefully. When people talk about Hitler, it's negative because he did shit the wrong way.
Right.
And that's how I feel like unless they stop rioting and stuff and start doing stuff in a peaceful way, then it's going to be looked as a negative action instead of a positive action.
Yeah, I think what happens when...
But they will get change either way.
Yeah. And it's all about what type of change you want.
Yeah, exactly. They're not thinking about that right there. They're not thinking about that.
And I think what happens when, when we riot like this, people start to not care anymore about why you're angry.
Oh yeah.
You take the attention off of why you're angry, and to look at them like. To me, it's almost as if we are showing them that we are the type of monkeys that they think we are. and we know that we're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why even give them enough reason to think so? You know, I was talking to a buddy of mine. Shout out to Gabriel Logan. I love that dude with all my heart. You know, we were talking about the same thing. We were talking about change, and Gabe said something to me that was really, I should say, it was very thought provoking. Gabe said, you know, sure, we want change, but we need to look for something long term.
Oh,
And I think everybody is missing that right now, the long term.
Yeah.
You know, we're not thinking ahead too far.
Oh, yeah.
And so
They just want immediate change, but they're not actually thinking about how to bring it forward.
and that's what happens when you live in an instant gratification generation.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I don't think completely defunding the police is going to do anything, man. I think we need complete and utter police reform.
I agree.
I think that right now the police are there to not to actually like enforce. They're there to catch people doing stuff. They're trying to catch people instead of keeping peace.
Oh, say that again, man.
You know,
say that again.
Real talk. And I think we need and this is like, you're taking the extreme, but I think we need like an Andy Griffith type police force. Have you ever watched Andy Griffith?
You know, here and there.
Here and there, like work with people. That's the main thing. They should be taught to work with people, dude. Because like Andy Griffith, you know, that back in the day, they were just always trying to work with people, man. He wasn't giving you a ticket unless you were being a dick or whatever, you know. And if you're a repeat offender, sure, give him a ticket. But I mean, the police should be there to keep peace, to help people out, and to work with people, man.
Absolutely.
Get out of people's pockets, dude.
Ooh, I like that. And that, you know, I was sitting there thinking about that as you said that, you know, working with people and getting out of their pockets. You know, I think a lot of the times police officers are worried about meeting a quota. They're worried about using their power that the badge gives them. And it's like, man, you have to think. And I feel like a lot of these police officers forget. Mind you, not every single last one of these officers are bad. I got a really good friend of mine who's an officer. Shouts out to Jason. And I feel like they're so worried about wanting to be this heavy hand, and they forget what it was like before they were police officers.
Oh yeah.
You know, they don't think about when they got pulled over, how they immediately had respect for these officers because they knew it could go bad, you know, if they didn't do what they were supposed to be doing, or if they had something wrong, you know, when the police officer was checking out their information. You don't need to pull somebody over, walk up to them and be an asshole right away, looking, you know, for something to find.
Yeah, like quit looking for stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? If it's obvious and like it's actually something that can help somebody, I mean, sure, go for it. But if it's just something to get money, or just like you're just pulling him over to pull him over because you think he has something, I mean, it's just pointless. Right. You're not helping anybody. You're just making the regular society hate the police. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. Like, you know, speaking about my friend who's an officer, you know, I really had to take some time and step away from being an angry black man in America and understand the type of pressure that my friend is under at this point now, because I sat there and thought, you know, I'm sure it is very tough to be a black officer in America right now, because you got a lot of angry black people who are not thinking sensibly, saying, are you even black? How could you be a cop? But to be a good white police officer,
oh man,
genuinely good at heart, and now that this has happened, you've got people looking at you sideways more now than ever.
I can't believe people are still wanting to be police officers right now.
You know, my hat's off to you.
Yeah, same. Same. I mean, honestly, if I was in your shoes, I would be finding a different career path, dude. There's no way right now that I would ever want to be a police officer, because I mean, it's getting rough for them, man. I mean, hell, police officers are being discriminated now too, and no one's talking about that. I mean, damn.
Yeah, and that's the truth, and it's funny because, like, you know, I was just talking to Wendy about this the other day. You know, she was sitting there speaking with her sister about it, and her sister was very upset, like saying, like, not every cop is bad, and I'm mad that every cop, you know, is having to face this, and everybody's treating like all cops are bad. And Wendy made a good point. She was like, as bad as that is, now the police have a taste of what it feels like when black people get thrown in this one huge bubble of all black people are bad. And I see both sides of that. I absolutely do. But to be a cop right now, man, I don't want to be you right now.
Oh yeah,
Any color.
I think that's where before people get so pissed that they start getting stupid, is they should really start looking on the side that they think they hate, or the side that or the group of people that they really resent, and look at it from their point of view, because a lot of times it's very similar. Like they're kind of in the same situation, you know what I'm saying?
So you think people should seek to understand each other?
Yes, that's the only way we're ever going to get true peace, man, is seeking to understanding each other. Because how else are you going to get over anything if you just resent this? Because if you ask somebody right now, why do you resent the police? And they're not going to actually give you any answers other than, oh, they're racially profile or this or that. There has to be like, what are they doing that you're not doing? Because you're racially profiling black police officers.
Wow.
For being black and being a police officer. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
That's wow.
But that's the truth people don't want to hear, is you got to really look at it from the other side and be like, well, what can we do to help them? And then maybe they'll be like, what can we do to help this group?
I think
there's going to be give on one side for the other side to see, you know?
Oh yeah, I think we have to prefer the other over ourselves, because a lot of times, you know, we'll go ahead and walk into the situation and assume that we know what that person goes through and we know what that person thinks.
Oh yeah.
And then that is enough for us to make up our minds, which in reality, that's not fair at all.
No, not even close.
So, you know, for you to say that, I'm glad that you said that, because let's be honest, like, ain't nobody really thinking about the other person.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to. As much as you hate each other right now, I mean, the only way we're going to get through this is for there to be respect on both sides. I mean, there just has to be respect on both sides.
Right. And you know, me as a black man, and I could go into this, you know, so deep into this, and this might be saved for another episode, but, you know, dealing with racial profiling and seeing other people who've been in the same positions and not had to deal with some of the things that I've had to deal with from police officers. You know, some people feel like that's not privilege. I don't care, whatever you want to call it. Still, even though I have been racially profiled by police officers for even just playing basketball in front of my home and being questioned whether I truly live there or not, I still have respect for them.
Oh yeah, because I mean, not every police officer is like that.
No, and I have respect for them too, because even though I didn't choose to be black, they choose to put on that badge and that uniform.
Yeah. And
go out every day and face God knows what.
Oh yeah.
And they take a gamble with their lives. As much as people don't believe it, want to accept it, they take a gamble with their lives. They take more of a gamble with their life than I'm taking with mine.
Oh yeah.
For that, I have to respect it alone.
Right.
You know? And so I think if we, like you said, if we can seek to understand each other and really put ourselves in that perspective as well, then we can kind of understand that some of these cops who are, you know, I'll say the good cops, they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place, because they have to back the boys in blue, but they also want to be for the people. And so they feel torn, and I understand that. You know, I understand that. No, do I think they should condone what their partners are doing if they know their partners are wrong? No, they need to be holding each other accountable and calling them out on their actions.
Oh yeah.
But I understand that they are torn, and I couldn't imagine.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's rough for both sides right now. It really is. And I mean, there needs to be change, but there's no quick change. It's just we need to do stuff in a logical way so that both sides, so that neither side suffers.
Do you feel like, when you talked about police reform earlier, do you feel like this is a profession that, and this might be like an obvious answer, but do you feel like this is a profession that cannot afford to have even one bad apple in the bunch?
Yeah, that's tough, dude. No, I mean, I don't. In a perfect world, yeah, there should be no bad apple. But I mean, you gotta have precautions, because there's gonna be a bad apple in every profession. You gotta have you need to have classes and stuff on how to look for a bad police officer. You know what I'm saying? How, like, what to do if a police officer steps out of line and you're a police officer, like, witnessing it. You see what I'm saying?
So there should be accountability training.
Yes, they should be trained on what to look for, like, bad police officer wise. Like, how to, I know they're brother in arms or whatever, they're police officers, but you got to be able to watch out for the bad ones to keep the name good.
Now,
I mean, that's just how it needs to be.
I'll ask you this. Do you think that police academy training needs to be longer? Because, like, I'm not exactly sure, like, how long it is for, like, BLET training. But, like, I was talking about this with someone. It might have been with you, but I'm like, it takes relatively, depending on, like, what type of schooling you go to, whether it's, like, associate's degree or you're going for full-on bachelor's, it'll take about 3 to 4 years to become a nurse.
Right.
Where you're dealing with lives and you're helping, people and nursing them back to health. But it takes just a couple of months to be able to say, hey, here's your gun, here's your badge, here's a car, go out there and protect and serve.
Yeah, that's an easy answer. There definitely needs to be more training there.
Yeah.
Mental assessments, you know what I'm saying, background checks, kind of. There needs to be, like, intensive hiring process.
Now, you said something to me that quite a few people have said, mental assessments. How often do you think they need to be assessed mentally?
I couldn't personally tell you like that. That just needs to be sat down and assessed by someone that knows more about the mental system than I do. Because, I mean, hell, some people say I'm mentally insane. I don't know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, geez.
That's fair. I think that's a fair way of answering that. I don't blame you there. I don't know. I've thought about this over and over and over again, and I'm like, what more can be done? Like, seriously, what more can be done to make sure these things don't happen? Because you're right. In a perfect world, no.
There wouldn't be a bad apple.
We should not have a bad apple.
But you have to take precautions if there is one, because there's going to be one.
Right.
Nothing's perfect, man. There's bad people in all professions.
Right, because just as much as you can have a bad cop, you can have a bad nurse.
Yeah, you can have bad anything.
Yeah, so I understand that. Dang, Ben.
You got the dude on the podcast over here. Yeah, that's what James sounds like when he gets out of a chair.
Whoa.
He's like, my knees.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that that wraps up another wonderful episode of Me and My House podcast. Ben, thank you for jumping on the mic with us tonight, man.
Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
We're gonna have to do this some more sometime.
All right.
I really want to know about, anime helping people get off drugs. I thought that was a pretty interesting time. Oh, yo, before we close out though, tell me this story. Tell me the story you was talking about.
Yeah. I was going to tell you earlier. All right. So the other day I was at my buddy Steve's house, and once again there may or may not have been some alcoholic Beverly Jesus. That sounds like I had one tonight. Beverages involved. But I was out there, dude, and I just got this damn stomach pain, dude. I was like, Jesus, man. I was laying on the floor, bro. I was like, sounded like James over there, man. I was dying, dude. So I was like rolling around this shit. And dude, like the worst pain I ever felt, man. And then so Steve, I was pasty white, man. I looked like a damn albino. They were like, I was shaking this shit. They were like, yeah, you should probably go to the ER. Dude, I hate ERs, man. I despise ERs. So I got in the van. We were about to head this ER. It was like, dude, 1 o'clock in the morning. I was in the van, dude. I was like, and Steve was like, you sure you want to go to the ER? And I looked at him, I was like, dude, I would rather die than go to the ER right now. I was like, dude, I despise ERs with a passion. So I was like, I'm just going to go lay in this bed in this house, because his son was out of town, whatever, so I was sleeping over there. And then, so I went and laid that bed. I like rolled around all night, man. It's excruciating pain. He got up next morning. He left. I went to the urgent care. And I started feeling better when I got over there, dude. I was going around them curves and shit. My stomach just started relieving. I was like, shit, man. But I was like, probably need to go get this checked out before I start like bleeding out my eyes or something. Yeah. So I went over there, and she was like, yeah, you probably just passed a gallstone from what it sounds like, because he was like checking like where my gallbladder is, and she took her 2 fingers like wham and poked me right there, dude. And I was like, Jesus. She's like, does that hurt? And I was like, nope. Just a little, you know what I'm saying? I was dying, dude. What the fuck? But yeah, she was like, well, you just passed a gallstone, but she was like, it kind of clogged you up. So she told me to get this over-the-counter laxative. It's some kind of like natural shit.
Yeah.
So I went over to the motherfucking CVS, man. I was strolled in there. I went to the shelf. I got my motherfucking laxative I had to get. Went out of the car. I forgot to get something to drink because he told me to take it when I was over there.
Yeah.
So I popped that motherfucker in right there, and like usually I can just take like Av or whatever without water. But it was some kind of natural type shit. So it was like burning the back of my throat. Dude, I was dying, bro. I was in my car coughing and spitting in my Cadillac. Like, you know what I mean, dude? I was choking, bro.
Yo.
Dude, I needed something to drink, but I was looking around in the floorboards and shit. And dude, the worst mistake ever, there was a half drank bottle of Mountain Dew Baja Blast that been in my floorboard for 3 weeks.
Oh man.
Dude, I had to, bro. I fucking popped the cap, dude. I hit it back. Bro, the burning went away, but then I just started puking, dude, right out the back. Out the driver's side of the Cadillac. The door wide open. There's that bitch in the truck sitting there staring at me, dude. Puking in the, it wasn't CVS, a Rite Aid parking lot, dude. Just out and she was just staring at me. I was like, now I feel like such a redneck right now, dude. It was rough, I'm trying to tell you.
Oh my God, yo! I'm so glad you have been waiting to tell me this story. I am so glad that you told me this story, yo. I'm telling you, listen, y'all. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to Ben as much as I have, man. Dude, you are an amazing young brother, man. I'm proud of you, man. I'm glad that you were part of the family.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad that you were part of the house. Okay, and listen, y'all probably gonna hear a whole lot more of Ben later on in the future. So, if you don't like him and you're sick of him, too damn bad. Once again, this has been another episode of Me and My House podcast.
Yeah, if you don't like me, it's probably because you breathe like James.
Yo, Ben Parks, I love you, man. Thank you for coming.
I love you too, bro. I'll see you.
And we gone.